Hello, 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 hello. Do we have anyone there just yet? This will be my fault for putting it out so late on like this morning rather than whenever. And yes, I'm bespectacled today because it's been a long day. I am still covered in paint from the day. Who knows? Wow, crazy. But there we go, there we go. Okay, so this is continuing on from last week's session. There's no drawing today, no amusing drafting brush either. Looks like big teeth if you hold it up the other way down. Super good. No pencils, no extra camera, nothing like that. All pretty straightforward. Nice and easy. In fact, just going to move this camera out of the way so I don't accidentally knock anything over. I'm armed with my isotonic drink that looks suspiciously like beer, but I promise you it is not. It's isotonic. Tony's do drink that alcohols. It's true. So, feel free to join in, put something in the chat, all of that stuff. Going to do a little recap in a second. Just show you what we're working on today, how far this has gone forward. So if I just go ahead and show you, this is what we're going to be working on here, doing a few things with this, okay, so that you can see it. And if I just go back to my big cam layout for a second. So it looks like we only have a couple of people here at the moment, but like I said, late. It's Friday evening, all of that stuff. Oh man, my eyes are tired. Yeah, so here's where we got to. Here's a bit of speeded up footage for you from the beginning of the last session. Okay, so we started talking about putting ideas together, okay, for something, and then I showed how I went about beginning a drawing by ruling some lines, and showed how a figure was the most important thing. For scale, you need some idea of how big is a person in relation to this object, okay, that I'm creating. Then I created a smaller scale thing and started sketching out, showing you how I would normally work. My friend Klaus mentioned the Derwent electric eraser. I do have one of those. It wasn't on the desk last week, and it's not on the desk today because this is the wrong studio for that. Over at the main studio, there's one on my drawing board there. Yes, a drawing board, an actual thing that you can do drawing on. Hey ho. So yeah, did a whole load of that and just showed how to the process of creating a structure and what was going on in my head as I was thinking about these various different things. My favorite pencil sharpener, KUM pencil sharpener, dual hole. First one for shaving the wood away. Second one for getting you a really fine long point. The pencils I was using there were from Moleskine. Fab set of pencils there to carry around, a nice sort of travel set, I think, to have. So went through a few of those things, and then eventually took the scan of the drawing above, the one that you can see at the top there, okay, and brought that into Illustrator and started working on it. So went through the document setup that I use. I'll go through that again in a moment, just so you, if you're new to this or didn't see the previous one, that way you get to catch up. So let me just pop something in the chat here as well, just say hi. There we go, literally hi. Super good. Yeah, went through it, different forms of outlining, did a bit of erasing, all of that stuff. Wow, this movie is a lot longer than I thought. Oh, gave a sneak of something else I'm working on. Asked you to guess what it was. Don't know if you did or not. Okay, so yeah, pretty much that. And momentarily, I don't know a way that I can skip this forward actually, but momentarily we got into Illustrator and started putting things together. In fact, what I can probably do, you know, at this point is take us across to Illustrator so you can see what I'm doing. So if I just go across to Illustrator, yeah, here we are. So this is where we ended up with. So I had a sketch that I bought in just here, okay, and I dropped that onto a layer in Illustrator. So let's just get across to those layers, all right, and turn that into a template layer. So I simply double clicked on it, check template, and that automatically dimmed the image to 50%, although you can change that to whatever opacity you want there. On the draw layer, that's where I actually started the work, going over the top of this, joining some things together, straightening them out, went through them with a few different tools. And before I did any of that, I showed you how I set up my default, okay, my default graphic style in this document. So my default happens to be no fill and a dark stroke, but made from a spot color. So if I select any one of these strokes, this big one on the outside is probably best. If I tap D right now, it won't change. If I change the stroke color, okay, to red, and the fill here to blue, and then tap D, you'll see it's pretty much back the way it was. 4-point stroke. Now this isn't black. You can see here there's a little color chip or the corner there telling me that that's a global swatch. So that was the first thing I did, actually, was mixed a global swatch. If I go ahead and go to the color panel here and bring the stroke to the front, so if I tap X just there, of course you can only see those particular values. Let's just switch this to HSB there. So around about 240 degrees there, okay, 22.64% saturation, not that matters a lot, and 20.78 brightness, and set that. And the reason I wanted everything to have that global swatch to it was so that I could make a change quicker later on. And in fact, I actually mixed the color by just double clicking here. I went at it all Photoshop style, okay, to mix that, and just went for something in that sort of blue range there, and just picked something here, nearly black but not quite. The advantage there, of course, so I can change it really quickly. Now I don't have the DB lifter handy here. Also, just 1 second, what I need to do in here as well, because it's just gone 10 o'clock and I forgot this last week, okay, to disarm the alarms in my studio before they go off. If I move, it will, or if I moved before, it would sense that I'd moved, and I'd be making loads of noise that I didn't really want to make. So anyway, a lot of the tools I were using from Astute Graphics. So I started out with Inkscribe, just there, used a few others like dynamic corners, which I'll be using again. Basically, I'm just going to carry on drawing at this point. Okay, so I'm going to just choose somewhere to get started and then do pretty much exactly that. So I think what I'll do is I'll actually go and work on this canopy seal just here, okay, and I'll use Inkscribe again for this. Okay, so I've got this set up, and I'm going to set this so I have I'm drawing with corner points, and I'm just going to move around like so, okay, making these corners. Now I don't know if I want that angle there immediately, but I'm going to stick with it for now. When I drew it, I will have had a reason for doing it. Not entirely sure what that reason is now, but I would have had one. I'm overdrawing here just for the moment. Okay, so just going outside of the lines I've got there. One of the reasons for using Inkscribe is that I can get ghost handles, okay, on these when I want to work with things. Got loads of different controls here, okay, to use. You can see I can draw curve segments, all of these things here. So basically, when I come up to any segment, whoops a daisy, that just completed that from there. Let me hit escape, come out of that, and reselect it, holding down the command key. So when I go to any of these, you can now see I have these handles. Okay, so I get these straight away, so I can go ahead and start making changes if I want to. That's why I chose to use that particular thing. Okay, to go around there. Now, this is the area of concern for me, this bit here, because it's not quite even, and I don't know if that bothers me or not. I don't think it does. Also, I'm not going to curve that. What I'm going to do instead is change the corners here on this one. That's what I think I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and zoom out. I'm going to go to my dynamic corners, select that tool. I'm going to use the corner method squircular just there. So that's ones that flatten out. In fact, let's just draw something quickly so you can see the difference. Okay, let me move across here, and I'm just going to create 2 more copies. For the first one here, I'm going to change this to true radius. Okay, like so, and then just apply that all to the selection. For the second one here, I'm going to change this from true radius to standard, so standard corners, and apply that to all of those. And then for the last one here, I'm going to go ahead and change this to squircular and apply that. Can you see the difference you get? Even between those 3, look at the length of the curves here. I think they're pretty much all the same. That's 10.574. Let's just change that to the same thing. Okay, so 10.574. Boom, and then apply that to the selection, so they're all the same just there. Right, and now you can see the difference around this. Make sure that is applied. There we go. Okay, so slightly slower just there. Standard, and these ones, look at those, love them. And as I said last week, the way to think about those is think about the app icons that you see on iOS devices, that kind of stuff. That's where the squircular thing comes in. So I'll zoom out just a little bit here. Nobody fancy saying hi in the chat? No one? Not at the minute? Okay, fine. Well, I'm going to go ahead with my corners. I am going to go squircular because I love them. Okay, and especially for something like this, they really do look as if they could be seals on a thing like this. That one's going to be slightly steeper. This one's slightly less so. Yeah, I'm even going to go for broke there with that one, and similarly here. In fact, I'm going to go quite a long way with that. Kind of like that. So happy with that. I've got myself a little toolbar here which has some of the tools, native tools, that don't have a shortcut or an accelerator to get to them, and a load of the astute graphics tools just here. I'm going to choose the extend path tool, and this is where I'm going to bring this in on either end just here, and you might just see this icon change. It's a bit of an icon shift just there, tells me it's connected or is over the top of another vector, like so. I'm going to switch back to the selection tool, another astute tool. By the way, they're not sponsoring this. They should, perhaps, if you're watching, Nick. But no, they're not sponsoring this. This is entirely off my own back. I absolutely love these tools. I genuinely work with them all the time. In fact, I couldn't produce content at the rate and level that I do without them. Really couldn't. Also, if you watch me on Adobe Live, this is me off hours. I'm not on Adobe Live right now. This is my own gig, doing my own thing. Anything goes. Super good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the G offset tool. Now, bear in mind, right, this is an open path, and that's one of the things that the AG offset tool does. Right, it allows you to offset open paths like so. Look at that. Ooh, very quick way to draw that. You think about if you did that as Illustrator native tools, you would have to go ahead, okay, and create a closed shape, then offset it, then do a whole load of snipping in between to get to those. Now I'm going to fix those corners separately because it is offsetting exactly the way I want it. Okay, but I kind of want to change that. So to do that, I'm just going to close up this panel. I'm going to expand the appearance there. Now I've actually set myself a shortcut to do that. My shortcut is Command 9. Okay, and that goes ahead and expands that appearance, then creates a group. So I am going to ungroup that, Shift Command G, Shift Control G on Windows. If you're wondering about making those shortcuts, they are easy enough to do. Go to the Edit menu, come down to Keyboard Shortcuts. Okay, create yourself a new set, so save a new set. Then go to things like Menu Commands, right? And you can even type to do that. So if I did expand, you can see an expand appearance, and I just simply type Command 9 in there because I knew it didn't have a conflict with anything else, and that for me makes it really, really easy. It's just a shame that you couldn't add that over here in the quick actions area, or even indeed add your own quick actions in that particular area. It would be so much better if you could. Right, so I'm just going to squircle up those. In fact, do you know what? Let's have a quick look at that. There's too many points there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo that a couple of times. Right, so I'm back to where I was with that one. So I'll target that one. I'm going to run Vector First Aid. This is more from Astute. I'm going to option click the Super Smart Remove Points. I'm going to set my value here to something low. I'm going to go with 8 just there, and I might actually just say Protect Sharp Corners. No, actually I'll leave it as it is. I'll just go with that. And it removed me 19 points. But if we came out to have a look, let's just check for fidelity. There we go, still good. Right, now what I'm going to do then is I'm going to get the dynamic corners tool. I'm going to bring in that corner like so, and then simply click on that point there. That matches the radius for both, so they're all still real good. Okay, so that's working all right. It's not quite right though, is it, for that? So what I could do is, it would actually be sharper like that. Yeah, I think that's closer to what it should be, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. In fact, I'm going to null this one out, target this one, and then come ahead and click that one. There we go. Nice, there we are. So that's the start, working on that. Now I've got some repeating elements that I want here. Now this is going to be like a latch. So what I think I'm going to do is draw that separately, that little latch, and we might as well put in that ellipse just there. Let's go ahead and do that. Again, I can change the way that appears. In fact, if I go ahead and use the AG offset thing just here, what I could do is bring that in a little bit and then say, okay, for the stroke, alter the weight. Okay, and there you go. Look, it makes it 1 point there at the moment. If I say make it 2 points, actually 1 point works better. Just said, you know what might even be better if I make that, do it twice, down to 1 point, or down up to 2 points. Let's have a look at, no, down to 1 is good. And then I can change this easing value just here as well. You might be able to see the effect of that. So if I bring that right out, look at that, see? Easy peasy. Good stuff. Okay, it'd be nice to have a little curve there that you could change between those. Okay, so that would be handy. It's still good, but you can do that. Okay, makes it nice and easy. So I'm going to build this latch then from this point here. So go ahead. Simple rectangle for the latch. I'm kind of eyeballing the size just there. I want a piece that goes across that, like so. I can align those in a moment. Then I'm going to want a couple of things on either end, just here. Okay, and these wouldn't all be 4 points, by the way, and in fact, nor actually with that one. There you go. Get something like that. That gives me something to edit just there now. I'm going to go back to that offset and change that value just there. Let's go back with the easing. Interesting. There we go. That's fine. And just change the distance. Oops. -1. There we go. That's much more what I want just there. Fine. I think I'll Command 9 that now straight away. Again, remember that's my own shortcuts, not non-standard, as they say. Set this down to 2 points. Just here, align these to the center. And I'm just going to hold down the Option key, make that slightly different. And I'm going to go at it with these corners. Just going to bring those in. I am using the native tool just there, and then Option clicking those to get a different corner type. I'm just going to switch to my trackpad just for a second. There we go. I just want that sort of thing just there. Pick up the shape builder. Just get rid of that stuff on the edge there. Nice. There we go. Easy peasy. No one in the chat yet. No way. No way. That's really bad. I'm not even saying hi. I'm so upset. I'm over it now. There we go. Actually, while I was there with that, let's make that a bit tighter, like so, and longer, like that. Again, I'm going to go at this with a shape builder, just here, and just turn that into one thing. This one here, going to Option drag a copy. Oops, a daisy. Got too many fingers on my trackpad. Flip that over. Bring that in. There, I think that works. I don't want this to be on the center though. Really. I want that to be a bit longer and off center. So I'm going to go ahead and have that with the shape builder again. Perfect. That's better. And because I'm going to use that more than once, the best thing for me to do there is to turn that into a symbol. So I'm going to do exactly that. F8. Okay, I'll just call it latch type 1. And it looks like I have someone in the chat. It's Vega HD. Hey! Nice to see you stream again. Nice to see you here watching me streaming again. Thank you very much for turning up. That is very good. Do that by a predictable amount. Let's do 325. Just there like so. That's a good latch size. But however, that's not where I want it to be at all. There's a couple of different ways I could go at this, but again, I'm going to use a tool that's going to help me out by creating a perpendicular line just there. And before you ask, yes, it is another astute tool just there. And then I can get hold of this one, like that, and then align them using the orient tool from Astute. So I'm just going to pick on that corner and pick on, it's not showing me that corner, there we go, we'll go to there. And just drag that down so it's in the right place. I mean, I could go the whole hog here, but I think that fits pretty good. Go ahead and get that out. Pardon me. How's the music coming across, by the way? Should be a nice little mix of stuff. I don't know what's playing in that. I don't get to hear it, so. Yeah, anyway, that works for me. That's pretty good. I'm going to Option drag a copy of that down here. Like that. And then I need to kind of construct that box. This is the thing when you're working with symbols sometimes. So I could have kept that line, the perpendicular line just there. Okay, because I'm going to use it. I was going to come off of this corner here, but I want to make sure I'm creating a believable segment. That's how far off I actually was there between the two. Wow. Let's get another one out here. All I'm doing at the moment, these are inconsequential, these lines. I am using them purely for construction. So I'm going to bring that one in just there, like so, and then the same deal with this one here. Yeah, that's much more like it. Do you know what I could do if I didn't want that angle just there? I could actually squircular those things. But I think I'll get rid of that one. I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to shorten this line a little bit. Yeah, like so. Something like that is good. That one's in the right place. I'm going to switch to the ink scribe tool. Yeah, I'm going to click there to connect with it, and then I'm just going to come up and go to a point here. Now I sketched that slightly differently, so that's just fine. Just there, I'm going to hit escape to come away from that, and I'll go for this one just here. I think that should be slightly angled as well, you know. I'll go with my, yeah, I'm going to go with my gut on that. And then go ahead and squircularize those corners. It's all about the squircles. Just up to that point there. And oopsie daisy. And also, that's interesting. Is it not seeing that as a corner? It looks like not. Let's see if they're connected. They're not. So I've got a couple of choices here. I think hovering over that or dragging over that, Command J to join it, is the best one. Mind you, what if they're not aligned? I'll undo that. Option Command J. Alt Control J. Align those. Whoa. I've got another way of doing it. I'm going to extend both with the Extend Path tool, like that. And I'm going to deselect both. I'm going to go ahead and have at it with the. I'm going to use the native join tool actually. There we go. Sorted. Now, again, I could offset this in both directions. In fact, I'll do that here. I'm going to go ahead and I want to offset this by maybe 2 millimeters. I'm just going to apply that so that I can see it. That's in total, and I want it to be one step. Sorry, no, 2 steps, but I want to do it side to side. No, I do want 1 step. There we go, like so, and then just change that down to what I want. Something like that is pretty good. I'm not going to alter the weight. I'm going to retain that. Then my self-assigned shortcut, Command 9, to undo that and to ungroup. I actually don't need the one in the middle now. That was just there for position. Then I can use the Extend Path tool to bring these in. Let me just undo that just a second, just so you can see the nature of the problem. Can you see that poking out just there, that vector? So I'm just going to bring that in until it connects with that line. Rounded terminals are an absolute bonus. I think those two are fine where they are. That one might be a little bit close. I'm just going to bring it in just in case there's a barely perceptible bump over there that I might not be able to see, but it will show up if anyone else is looking for it. That definitely needs a bit more squircularizing, possibly. Although if they're all the same, it will lose any meaning from there. I can't hear the music. No. Right, let's just turn that up a little bit, just in case it was a quiet phrase. You'll have to let me know though now if you can hear it. I'll go halfway, and if that's too loud, but there should be music. There should be music. Should be. I'm going to make some more changes here. I'm going to bring So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Snap to Collisions tool. Again though, it's tricky because it's a symbol. I think I'm going to have to forsake that being a symbol and break the link to it in both instances. Just for now, because I want to align it differently. Or bring it down there, like that, kind of like that. That's where that would be really. Go ahead and select all of those bits and bring that down as well. Can you see these little connectors telling me where it's when it's actually on that point, which is super useful. Now I'm going to grab those. Can you hear the music yet? You can hear it now. Cool. Just going to pick those up. Shape builder. And let's go ahead and carve some bits out. Like so. Hey Klaus, if you're watching today, come and say hi. If you're there in your amazing castle, just watching this, come and say hi, say hello. Dead chuffed that you're watching. Really good. Alright, let's add some more things around here. These are just incidentals, so they can go kind of anywhere really at the moment. I'm going to go with that one. I'm actually going to draw a separate one. Just say I'm smart guides, making it easy to do. So I want that to be a little bit closer, and I do want them to, whoopsie daisy, be separate objects. So bring it one in. There we go. Drop that down to 1 point. And I'm going to bring that in nice and tight. To that one. There we go. I'll group that because I might use it somewhere else. Alright, let's go ahead and put some bits in here. So this is going to be very, very similar to the thing before. In fact, what I could do is draw that as a rectangle. So if I went ahead and did that, and then rotate it around, bring it in like that. Cool. Not going to give me the line I want, so I'm just going to undo that a second. Get the direct selection tool, select the bottom 2 anchor points, get the scale tool and pull that out a little way. Good, that's much better. And just before I do that, actually I'm going to get this entirely ready before I do anything with it. I'm going to pump up the stroke value on that. So it's around about there, 9 points, works pretty well. And I'm going to outline that stroke. I again used another self-assigned shortcut just there. Music's perfect for the design. I don't know which bit I'm on. It's just a mix I put together a little while ago. So, I don't know, but that's grand. Thank you. And then I'm going to tap D, which of course gives me my default, like so. And then bring that around like that. And there's a few different ways I could do some trimmage on that. If I select that and the outline, I could get my shape builder, hold down the Alt or Option key, go for the strokes, boof, boof. And that should mean that that's still preserved, like that, you can see, and the outline is still preserved. That's what I don't want to damage. Good. Need another one of those over there, this time with hatches in, so I'm going to definitely draw that one separately. Let's do a kind of a test fit on there for that. Too big. I'm going to make it about the right size, something like that. And set the rotation there to 0. Now I can go work on it. Then bring those back in. Squircularize those corners. Decent squircularizing going on. Just there, nice. Good stuff. Take that up to 9 points. Outline it. Change it like that. Boom. There we go. I'm going to put 2 small hatches in there. Like that. Drop down the size of those. Getting an awful lot of 4-point stuff in here all of a sudden, actually. Thinking that shouldn't be 4 points, it should be 2 points. That line variation kind of important for the inside. I only just noticed that. I'm going to drop that down. This can be at 1 point, just there. I'm going to bring down another one. Copy, paste in front, and just going to change the size there. That's a fairly convincing hatch. Group that and drag a copy across. Group those and align that to the center of those shapes there. There we are. This week's episode brought to you by Funny Robot Face. You can see just there. Groovy. Right then. Zoom out a bit and bring that up to where we want it to be, something like that. Spin it, whoa. Spin it around. There we go. Is there anybody here from my audience on the photography show last week? Or this week? Beginning of this week? Watching this right now and thinking, this isn't photography. You'll be right. It's not. So, now, I'm going to need to make a bit of a wheel decision here. Okay. Like so. I'm not actually quite ready for the wheels just yet, but I do need to make a decision on roughly where they're going to go, because I want to punch this out from this shape here. I want to remove that. Again, bit of a shape builder groove going on there. So let's just get rid of that, and then I have no further use. Well, actually, no, I have no further use for that circle right now, I don't think. Having said that, I'm reluctant to remove it, so I'm just going to clip it away, like so. I'll get rid of the bits I don't want, and then use the Astute Extend Path tool here just to bring that around. Nice. That is fine just for the moment. I know my drawing that extends beyond there a little bit into that guard, but I'm going to change that. I don't want that to do that. Okay, groovy. Let's go and draw some other stuff, nice and easy. So we'll draw this bit here. It's of no particular consequence, this one. This is just shapes. This bit. Okay, with no, it's just a thing. It's not like it has to be a particular thing. That's all good. I'm going to change that to shapes like so. Not ready. Not ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I see the thing that I need to build there. So I'm going to bring that one up a little way, like so, round about there. So it's in line with that. I am going to option drag a copy to about that point there. Bring that in. You can tell that strokes, stroke alignment doohickeys are on here, and again, shape builder operation there I think is required. Boom, and just put all those together. If I'd held down shift, I could have gone into area mode. Well, I did. Just like that, and then tap D. That's the default, or I can do when I'm out of the thing. There we go, and that should be 2 points because it's internal structuring. In fact, that could be even smaller than that. Thinking about it, it could be 1 point. Wanted to. That's good. Bring those up a bit. And this is pretty much what it's like for doing these kind of things. I do quite a few of them at the moment. And that squircularization is just so cool. Quite a lot. I do think Nick Vanderwall might turn up today from Astute, actually. He watched last week's today. But, you know. I'm going to use the curvature pen tool now. I'm going to start out here by double clicking. That gives me straight anchor points, like so, double clicking at this end, moving those around, same tool, love it. And then I'm going to double click up here and then bring that back in to line. I'm going to do the same thing just here, hold down shift, keep it all nice and lined up. That's not working, don't know why. So I'll undo that, switch to the direct selection tool, and then with only that anchor point selected, bring that in. Now this is one that does need to be at 4 points, okay, because it's a structural change. So it's a different part of the vehicle, and that just needs sorting just there. Like that. Perfect. That works pretty well. Now we'll start to go ahead and start to finish this structure off here. So I tailed off with that line. In fact, I think that's where I stopped last week. I'm just going to bring that back into where I want it to be. I think I'm going to go back to the ink scribe tool here, connect with that line, come down a bit, and I want to angle there. I'm going beyond the points that I actually want them because I'm going to make circles from them later. Just down here. And will that make the whole way across? Yes, it will, but I'll have to make some cuts out of there as well later on. Grooves, and then, oh, look at that, perfect. Exactly in the right place. Just there. If you've just joined, come along, say hi. That's it, that's Friday night. It's Friday night, I've got an isotonic drink. And I'm drawing stuff for your entertainment and education. Come say hi. I could see you there because I've got a graph. I've got a graph. Okay, so I want to make a couple of snips here to this line. I'm not going to use the shape builder for this one. I'm going to get to the scissors. And I want to cut that path just there. I then want to cut it on this end as well, just there. And then delete, delete. Just get rid of the extra anchor points. That's good, because that hatch would probably work like that. Let's do some corners. This tool set, by the way, the Astute Graphics tool set, is, I think, including tax, 139 monies, because it's the same in dollars as it is in pounds, a year for 20 odd tools. I think it's 20 tools, all of those different tools available to you, which is crazy good. Yeah, all of those things, crazy good. It's up to you though. I mean, they don't sponsor me for this, they really don't. And even though they have very kindly offered me in the past to give me the tools because I demonstrate them so often, I decline. And the reason I decline is not because I'm Lord Moneybags, because I'm totally not. It's because I want you to believe in them as much as I do. And that is really is the way it works for me with these tools. Oh, now this one here. So when I was drawing this, the level of believability I wanted was that there was a hatch here, okay, which went on to this component here. So there's a sort of an intake just there, and that intake connects up to that line, right? But it's not exactly at the right angle in this drawing, so I'm just going to back that away a little bit, and I'm also going to bring this down to where I want it to be. That looks a little bit strange. They're meant to be kind of in line like that. If it was a sort of an intake, that's the way I would have it. I think I'm actually also going to copy that segment. So I'll just target the segment, copy it, paste it in place, then I'm going to nudge it across because I can use that in a little while. Okay, to resolve that part there. These are things that are hanging off of that, and they may actually move up because you wouldn't design a vehicle like that and have those bits hanging off in that way. That's not the way they'd be organised. Oh, that's not in the right place. So I've got that point selected. I am going to shift click this point and say align to top. That should, I think I've aligned the wrong one to the wrong one. Okay, so I'm going to say give me that one, align it to this one, and I'm going to need to move it down manually. So, orcs, there we go. Good. That's pretty good. The wing over the corners a bit. Just down here, a bit of cornering. This would definitely have a corner in it, not quite as steep as that though, and so would it there. Okay, now I'm going to bring a couple of lines together here. So straightforward, straight down the middle line there, and not literally down the middle, but you know, straight away line. And use the perpendicular path tool from Astute so I can draw lines that are perpendicular, like so, and then I'm going to do a bit of an extend path chisel down there, bring that in down there, that in down there. Hopefully that's joined together. In fact, I'm going to double check that. And I don't know if you can see it in the top right hand side here. I've got a panel called the Astute Buddy, and that shows me it's the options I've got, the keyboard options I've got. So I want to not change the extension mode, toggle intersections. Ah, I was in the right place anyway. There we go. So let's see if they have joined together. If not, it's really easy just to select all three and do Command J, Control J. It's around 3 o'clock. Cool. Nice. Funny animal videos. Cool. Hi, funny animal videos. At least you're here, which is nice. Hi, thanks for coming along. Very good. I'm just going to carry on drawing because that's the objective, right? I've got to actually do some drawing. Yeah. Now, there we go. This is the thing I want to affect. So I wonder why that's not seeing those as corners. Is that actually joined together or not? Yeah. So why aren't you joining? Oh, now you are. Great stuff. Just not there though. That's odd. Now what I'm led to believe when I see things like that is that there's accidentally, look at that, See, there's accidentally a different kind of anchor point type there. So I need to target that and say become an actual corner. If I do smooth and then corner, now it is an actual corner. You can't use the dynamic corners on something that is not corner, but it's still not having it, you know. So I'll switch to the native tool and then see if I can have at it with this. There you go. I don't know if you saw that, it was green. It was telling me it was a native corner. So let's go ahead and zoom out. Right, these ones, because they're internal, need to start to address some of these in a minute. Actually, those things I think will be fine. Just there. Right. I also need to copy that group. Come over here and paste that group. I need that in a few other places. Whoops, I don't see. You know, it wouldn't be an entirely bad idea for me to select all the component parts of that door or hatch and group it. That would be a sensible thing to do, I think. Then I can go ahead and snip this line in the places that I want to cut it. So basically there and there, and then select it and delete it. There we go, it's working all right. I'm going to bring us over and I'll go ahead and change the size of that. But what I want to do first is just go to transform and turn off scale, strokes and effects. I want it to be exactly the same stroke size here, but I just want it to just change its dimension. And I've got a couple of places I want those, like so. Now bizarrely that one I probably do want to change it in its dimension, but that's fine as it is for the moment. Right, I can go ahead and do this one here. I'm going to go for the ink scribe tool. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. I want to show you those handles again, so I'm going to draw corner points like that. And I'm going to go back to this segment, click on this path, and can you see now that I've got these ghost handles? So I can bend this out and change them really quickly. Again, without switching tools, that's the thing that's really handy. Yeah, so simple to do. Nice and easy. Switch back to the extend path tool, just bring these in to where they need to be, like that. Because this is a vehicle for another environment, loads and loads of soft corners on it, tons of the soft corners. Okay, let's do that just into there. And this, just this one thing alone, honestly, saves me so much time being able to draw like this. I'm going to just change that one back to nothing, go for that one, tap on it. Okay. There we are. That's better. Okay, and snip that where I don't want it to be. So there, and just there. Remove the extra bits. I want a segment down there as well. So, and that will need to be, I think, just a straight line. We'll do that, and then I can bend it out. I'll use one of the native tools to bend this out. So Shift C, and then just pull that out like so. There you go. See, easy. Could do it with this one as well. You are. Just get that. Now that would really require a bit of smoothing because there is going to be a bump just there, and that's where I could go back to the inscribe tool. Click on this. Let's zoom in on this handle. Can you see that the handle there is at the wrong angle? And if I move that in, you might be seeing a tiny red dot just there at the moment. It's actually an S and tells me that I've achieved a smooth point, and I can go ahead and do that again. Whoopsie daisy. At the bottom, so I get hold of that handle. There you go, boof, S, and now I know. Nice smooth tangents all the way around. Can't believe I'm getting no hellos today. No highs, no how you doing, Tone, none of that stuff. Just, yeah, hey ho. Right, a couple of bits just here. So I'm going to start this one off. I'm going to draw this one entirely with the perpendicular line tool. I am going to go perpendicular line, perpendicular line. And do you know what? Actually, line tool. No, because I want it to be at an angle. Not everything has to be dead straight. Go ahead and do that. Let's try the AG trim and joining tool. So let's you trim off parts of the paths by dragging over them. Optionally, it can automatically join together in the reporting pieces to form new paths. Let's double tap on the tool to access its preferences. Okay, so auto join paths of a trimming. Trim only when the paths are on the same layer, only when the paths have the same style. So you see you've got options. Dunk. And I don't know if you noticed that, but suddenly that all became one path. So you saw the palaver I had. The palaver I had a little while ago. Palaver over. No palaver. There we are. Tapped on that. That's great. I don't know if I want to make that a little bit deeper as I have done in the drawing. Again, easy to do. I can just move that into place, get the extend path tool, and do that. Winning. So that works. This one's going to have another small version of this just to the side of it, just there. So let's do that. Actually, I'm going to turn back on scale, strokes, and paths for this one, or strokes and effects. Just for that, make that a bit smaller in both directions. There you go. It's just a small little thing. I don't know, charging point, if you like. Of course, it's an electric vehicle. Would have to be, wouldn't it? Going to someone else's planet and manking up their atmosphere. Good. Right. I could add, you know what I could do here is add a little bit of repeating detail. That might be kind of interesting. So let's just say that I wanted, here we go, try this out. Right, so I'm going to draw a small shape like so. Okay, I am going to round the corners off of that. I'm going to make this one point there like so. Let's just say I want some of those to go along this path. Here's what I'm going to do. Just rotate that around. Going to love this. I'm going to go to the Orient tool here, and I'm going to choose the Orient Transform tool. Now for this to work, first of all I need that shape selected. Okay, I'm going to click on this point here and then click on this point here. Now I'm going to move to this path. Okay, I'm going to hold down the Option key, and then I'm going to click and drag like that. Okay, so I'll do that again just here, click. Oh, didn't hold down the Option key. Just undid that. Let's go here. Okay, it's now working. Hit the escape key. Click at this point here, click at this point here. Okay, so Option key down, do that. See that? Go further down the path, Option key down, and there. Don't quite know why that hasn't created another duplicate of that. It should do. But anyway, you can work your way around like so. I'm just going to nudge that in and down a little bit just there. I'll leave that as it is. It's kind of nice. You know, I do need one down at this bottom. If you wanted to do it as at a set interval, right, so let's see, how big is this distance here? So what I want to work out is, and I could measure this, right, if I use dynamic measure just here and get the dynamic measure tool, I could click between these paths. If I click here and click here, it is 3.3025 millimeters. 3.3025 millimeters. Right. So I'm just going to hit escape there. Just get rid of that. I'll go to the measurements here. I'm just going to clear all the measures, delete all, just there. But now I know the distance between those 2 points. I am going to go to this line segment here, which is just one line segment, so that's kind of handy. I've copied it. I'm going to paste it in front. I'll change the color of this just so you can see it. I'll make it bright red there, like so. Now I could actually, and I'm going to offset that a little bit, like so. I don't want it to be symmetrical, just one side. It's good. I'm not worried about the width of the stroke particularly. Okay, and I could change it if I wanted to. Command 9, my own self-assigned shortcut for that. Okay, I'll ungroup it. We'll get rid of the one at the back. Now, I've got this path, which at the moment has 2 anchor points. Okay, one at the top, one at the bottom. That's what I want you to be able to see there. Of course, these handles are right over the top of those 2 points. But I'm going to add some more. So I'll come back out of outline mode. I'm actually going to go to the Path Scribe tool, just here at the Path Scribe panel. I've got the option here to add points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to option click on that, or alt click to get to the add point dialog. And in this value here, I'm going to type, actually 3 is close enough. I could type 3.3025 in there, but to be honest, I think 3 is close enough for there. So I'll go 3 millimeters. Okay, let's just see what we get just there. Not sure I did add any points. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Now look, all of those points spaced nicely apart like so by a predictable amount. Now, obviously, if I wanted a certain spacing in between it, let's just say I wanted 1.5 millimeters space in between each one. 1.5 is exactly half of 3, so I'd go at 1.5 and then I'd space between 2, leave 1, space between 2, leave 1, and so on. Right, hopefully that makes sense. So, and to go back to this, I am going to go back to my Orient Transform tool. I'm going to click on these 2 points, first one, second one. Now I'm going to go ahead, okay, and start adding some of these things. So I'm going to hold down the Option key, click, drag to that point there. Now I'm actually leaving one out. Just say, in fact, I'm going to leave a couple out. That shouldn't be doing that, you know. It should be just. It should just be picking up that shape. I don't know quite why that's acting up. But anyway, Option. There you go. So they're now the same size. Option. Let's do it again. Nick, if you're watching, why is that doing that? It doesn't matter that I have to reselect it every time. It's not a big deal. You know, it's not like going down into the cold, dark earth and fetching back coal, as I quite often say. So let's go. Whoa, you see, now I've got it there. I'm just going to hit escape. Now it was there. Strangeness. You can see how it's taken a fairly complex drawing task and making it pretty easy. See, that is weird. But like I said, easily resolved, and still a lot quicker if it was essential that you drew these things in exactly those places. It'll take you a lot longer than this, even with it acting up a little bit. And it just does that sometimes. I don't know why that actually is at all, but yeah. Now that time was definitely my fault because I held down Option when I did it. When I clicked on the points up there, but now, what the hey? Try again. Pick up that one. Oh, it might be me actually. I might have accidentally slipped onto. Yeah. Drag for add one options. Ooh. Drag for additional options. Right. I'm just going to deselect, reselect that one. Click. Oh man. Deselect both things. There we go. We've got that and that. There we go. I think I'm going to go the other way now. So I'll go back down to this point here, option down. There we are. Only got one more to do. So I'm just going to switch to the selection tool a moment. Just going to pop back to that tool. Let's try that one more time. There we go. And now for the final one. There we go. Hurrah. But it's still quicker if you want things to be snapped to a path like that to do exactly that. Yeah, there you go. Anthony King. Hey, Anthony. Don't need to apologise to me, mate. You're here when you're here. That's the main thing. Get here when you can. Now, I'm going to be streaming again next week, probably at a slightly earlier time. But the way to find out when I'm doing that streaming, okay, is to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So if you haven't done that already, please do. That way you'll get notifications, provided you hit the bell. Hit that bell. There we go. All that good stuff. These structure lines I'm going to add in later on. Next week I will be, for the first time, simultaneously streaming, okay, to YouTube and LinkedIn. Oh, and Behance. All at the same time. Crazy. Crazy, crazy stuff. So there's an additional hatch going just here. I'm going to make sure that all that scale strokes and effects goodness is off. Oh man, that's not worked very well with those corners. I think I need to rectify that stuff. In fact, it might be safer for me to go ahead and see if I can null those out. Let's have a look. Unless they're outlined, that's the thing. Are they already a done deal? They look kind of squircular to me. Yeah, I'm just going to make them native, or make them nothing just for the minute. Yeah, that one in the middle is, so I'm going to have to change that one out. So let's get rid of that group just there. I can come back and add that in a moment. So resize that and resize that. Cool. That path in there, let's go to that, is 2 points. Another 4-point stroke. It's a heavy old stroke to have in there. Tone. And I'm going to change the weight of that to 2 points. There we go. That's good. Now, because that's being applied as an effect, if I go ahead now and modify the outer corners here, right, then that's all taken care of in there. You can just see tiny dots. Yeah, love that. Right, let's do some line filling with making sure I'm down to 2-point strokes here. For this, I'm going to start adding in some more structure lines real fast. Just there. I'm not desperately worried about the position of them. I'm basically going to sweep across them. Okay, shortly. Just move that one down a little bit. I'm going to sweep across them and join where necessary. Just really want to get some lines in it. And do you know what? I think actually these could all be 1-point lines because they really are just panels. Okay, they're not of any consequence at all. They are just panel lines. Yeah, so like, you know, something you might have on there. I don't know, part of your car. Those are the lines from construction drawing there, so I need to just ignore those for the minute. That's good. And there needs to be some more down here. I'm just going to join those to that connector there. There. And 2 just here close together. Not trying to get any sort of repeating pattern, because that's the giveaway on things like this. You do draw each and every single part, you just end up with something that's way too busy. Just in case you didn't see it, by the way, I don't know if it's still available here at the moment. It's a bit of a clean up. I should have the dreadnought. Oh, it's not on. It's not here. But last week I showed a file of one of the spaceships that I did, the dreadnought, and let's just undo that. I don't want to move that window. That's exactly where I want it to be. There we go. Now I can go ahead and copy these down like so, and change the size of those. Let's bring those all the way down to the bottom. Let's go ahead and do some. Oh, that one's still 2 points. I'm going to use the native join tool here, which doesn't need anything selected. It's going to ping across some of these things. Actually, that one does need to be joined. So does that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, but not that one, nor that one. So I am going to switch to, I'm going to select those pieces there, that piece there. Whoops, double tapped on it by accident. There we go. Let's get those 2 bits as well. Okay, that's all the things I need. Shape builder, Shift M, Option key down, remove the segments that I don't need. In fact, I could go over those 2 now, so over that one. That's handy. It's not going to be any squircles just there, they're just the way they are. Now that stuff I can complete later on. I guess I could take some more of these lines over here. For now, I'll just do one more pass on those here. So I'm going to make this one longer. I'm going to draw some more. So it's just a straightforward backslash line segment tool. I'm actually going to draw a couple just there that I don't really need. Just doing it because that shape builder toolway is very, very cool. Let's do that one. Then switch shape builder just there. And I just want to knock out that part. And then that part, that part, that part, and that part. Oh, actually, I went the wrong way. I want to keep that bit. And put that bit at the top there. And that bit at the top there. Those are the bits I want to knock out. So I'll just go ahead and do that. So many different ways you can do this. Loads of different ways. So that bit's going, that bit's going. Then I can get rid of those. Then I can get rid of those and those. So I've got segments I can work with quickly. Nice. Kind of interesting. Those 2 points have now got now technically got curves on. So I'm just going to make sure they're corners. So that'll cause problems later on. Groovy. Okay. So what shall we attack next? I think I'll put a couple of lines in here. Now I do want a couple of those lines in there, so I'm going to drop those in just at that point there. Just move that up a bit. That's good. I want both of those in. Nice. I'm going to do another structure line here as well, across like that. And another one just there. Those are actually from the sketch. Grooves. There we are. And also just there. So once you start to fill these things out, right, with these structure lines, that's when it really starts to pull together. And it's just adding, you know, like a few lines in a few places. It really does add to the believability of this. It actually starts to look like it's a real kind of structure. Yeah, real things in there. Not, as you can see, I'm not doing it with any particular regularity. I am looking at where things wouldn't have a line, right? I mean, that's probably the maximum extent of that, because that probably is a panel that curves round, okay, into the next part of the bodywork. So there probably wouldn't be anything there. So I'm just going to remove that part, come down. And you could then, by offsetting these ones, it looks like they may be a continuation of that panel that is indeed curved. In fact, I'm going to carry on that whole gig. I'm holding down the shift key here, by the way, to get these all lined up. I'm going to carry on that whole gig through most of these, just here. There we go, like so. Just adds that, and I'll just check them off when I've done. Just say, you know, does that work? Oh, the other thing on my default style here was that I've got all of the corners set to round caps. Hey, Tim, say evil. Yeah, man, I'm still up. Why are you still up? It's like 20 past midnight. Oh, of course, you've only just come out of your coffin. 20 past midnight. Still up and still streaming. It's very good. Next week, you'll be so proud of me streaming on here, on Behance, on YouTube, and LinkedIn at the same time. Probably won't be working on this project by then because it's kind of got to go. It is sort of past due. There we go. But man, lovely to see you. Thanks for popping along. Whoops. Right, that one. That is one that needs to change. That needs to be 2 points. Thinking about it, so does this one. That might even take that up to 3. So it's not quite as much as the rest there. Okay, but it's on the way. Similarly, I'm going to pop that one in there. Oh no, there's a problem. So I kind of need to bring that point there is not in the right place at all. Is this something? Mind you, do you know what? I'm going to leave that where it is. I kind of like that. I'm going to undo it. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to take the weight of this line down to 2 points. Just there. 2 points. 2 points. Then, so these would be steel ropes on the side here. So I need to draw steel ropes for that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to draw myself a square just for the moment. Okay, I am then going to turn that into a guide, Command 5, Control 5 to do that. Now I'm going to draw some lines. Okay, so I am going to draw a line just here like so. I'm going to draw another line just here like so, and then in the middle, kind of a sacrificial line, as it were. Although I guess really, I could just draw a line like that. I think that would work. Just having a think for a moment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would work. So I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to make this one thinner. Great book, by the way. Stephen King. Thinner. Any of you read that one? No, do you know what? I need to make this bigger. And that one bigger as well. Ever read that one? Setting up the new studio, office, living room, sauna. Mate, I hope it all went well. I really do. I hope it went really well. I'm going to clear my guides. I don't need that guide anymore. So let's try this one. So I am going to go to my brushes and I am going to click for a new brush. This is going to be a pattern brush. Gonna hit OK. Sort of works apart from, right, it doesn't work at all. So I'm just going to undo that. Now here's the thing. I'm going to go back to that, to the point before when I had my guides. There they are, they're back. So I need the spacing here to meet the edges of these lines. So what I'm going to do is, this is where having those round end caps is biting me in the butt. I'm going to, literally I'm going to have a butt cap on there like so, right? Now that means I've got to resolve this line in the middle. This is where this tool, the extend path tool from Astute, comes in really, really invaluable. Right, now if I do that and add a new brush, pattern brush. That's much more what I want. Steel rope. In fact, it could be made of any particular material. Steel rope, spacing set to 0, not worried about corners, don't care, won't have any. This is just for straight lines. Okay, so if I hit OK just now, right, then what I can do is delete that. I'm going to delete those guides now. Then let's go ahead and draw the line for the steel rope. So like so. I'm going to increase the weight of that to 3 points. Then choose my brush. There we go. I did it 3 points so you could see it. So that's a quick way for me to draw that. That's working pretty well. Now I can just go ahead and draw the bits that work on the end. Here, like so, so about there. Nice sort of terminal thing there. By the way, I'm carrying on. I'm not stopping at the 11:30 mark. First ride of my... I saw your new bike. Fantastic. But now I have loads of boxes I should build a box for. Yeah, man. Do it. Do it. Build a box for. Show me how it works out. Better be awesome. I hope you'll be coming over soon. We're really looking forward to seeing you over here. Really, really. So that would be good if you can. I mean, I know you've got, oh, well, I mean, thinking about it, that's not going to be anytime soon because of the max time frame. So, but we will see. For the others of you watching, you're going to come along to Max. Have you registered for Max yet? Adobe Max? Because it's free. Free. Absolutely free. And awesome. Oof, that's too big. There we go. Right, so this is sort of the handle that goes on the end of this steel rope just here, the sort of anchor point thing. No vector pun intended. And that would also have a couple of straights just there and there. Now that is, now here's the thing. What I could do, and in fact I'm going to do, right, is draw that like so. Yeah, I'm then going to go Object, Pattern, Make. Just going to leave that exactly like it is. I'm just going to call it rope terminal. There, like so. Right, that's it. I've now got a pattern for that. Here's the thing. Let me get this thing out of the way. In fact, if I grab all of that stuff that I just drew there, move it out the way, just for a moment. Hopefully this will work. I'm going to go back to my brush here, double click on it. In fact, oh, do you know what? I just thought there's another way I could have shown you that. Now I can double click on that just here and go into that. Right, so what we've got here is we've got corners, we've got side tiles. Now that's the bit that's doing this. By default, a side tile, if you want it just to be like that, it's fine. This is saying it'll auto generate corners. I'm going to say no, don't do that, do none at all. Now the bits to watch out for are these last two boxes, right? These are the start tile, right, and the end tile for this, right? So the start and the end, those two boxes. Now I could go ahead and pick my pattern from there. Can you see how that's working? Right, I could do it from here as well. Right, now that's the wrong way around. Can I fix it? Yes, I can. Right, so remember it's the last box. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to apply that change to the strokes like so. I'm not worried about the resolution between those two things. And by resolution, I mean resolving the difference between them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this, hold down the Option key, and drop it. Oh, hang on, before I do that, let me just flip it over the other way. Then I'm going to drag it, hold down the Option key, and drop it on that box. Look what happened. It updates with that information just there. Apply to strokes, and now I've got those handles on both ends. Now there's still work to do there, right, in resolving the difference between those terminals just there and the rope itself. But again, not like going down into the cold, dark earth and fetching that coal. In fact, what I could do is drag that brush out like so. That gives me all of the brush components here like that. They're all a group at the minute, so I'm going to ungroup them. All right, let's get that and remove that bit. Don't need those bits either. Here's where I need to do the work, right? So I want these two to be smaller, so I'll drop those down to maybe 2 points just there. That'll make a little bit of a change, not as much as I'd like, but I could also nudge that down a bit and nudge this one up a bit like that. Grab those, drag them on, right, and hold down the Option key. Right, once I drag them in, oops, I've got them all selected. Hold down the Option key, drag it over that. It will show me the updated thing. So yeah, do that. Apply it to strokes. Made that change straight away. So there's much less for me to work on fixing just there now. And if I calculated that properly, I wouldn't have had to do that at all. Right, but I've now got something that's flexible. So if I need to change the length of that, okay, to meet that like so, then I can bring down another one. And what you might actually be asking at this point is, yeah, but you can see through that. How you gonna fix it? Well, it should be possible for me to fix that. But how? I reckon in my appearance panel, let's see what happens if I go ahead and add some effects just here to that stroke. So what I could perhaps do is do path, outline stroke. Let's have a quick look at that. So that's kind of outline stroke. Then I could do Oh, I reckon I could do that, Pathfinder, add. Oh no, I know what I need there. I'm going to remove that. So I'm going to leave outline stroke on. I'm going to go path, offset path, value of 0. I'm going to avoid any doohickeys there by going might around. Nice. And I could perhaps add to that. Yeah, I reckon I could probably, just having to think actually, I could get through that. There's a few different ways I could probably get through that. Let me just duplicate that particular one. Change the color of it to blue. No, it's not working just there. Let me try pulling that outline stroke up. No, I need to think about that one. How I'm going to fix it, but I'll leave those as they are for the moment because then I can fill that in. I could try a new fill, I guess, but I'm not sure that's going to work unless I take this up onto there. No, I need to think about that one, but it is possible. I could do it. I'm just having a bit of a brain fart. It is Friday, after all, but hey ho. There we go. You're working on a complicated machine. Oh, Rebel. Rebel. I'm glad it all went all right, mate. And thank you also for chatting to me. No one else been chatting to me. There was a bit with It's Vegas HD chatted to me a little while ago. No one else. I'm off the clock. It's late. It's 25 to midnight. Should be in my bed, but I'm not. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do some more stuff here. Now, another way, brushes, by the way, might actually come to my help with these wheels and tyres. Now, I'm not going to draw the wheels tonight because I've got a specific plan for those that happens to be in my sketchbook, and that's the one thing I didn't bring with me. Orcs. I was going to tap D for that one. And then I'm going to draw another from the center of that outwards like so. Now, I go out sometimes and find construction vehicles and steal them. No, I don't really. And photograph them. And I found just such a vehicle that I kind of liked the other night. It's awesome. And I don't know how well you're going to see this because of the reflection, and also because I'm going to switch just to my big camera just for a minute. So, right, here we go. Look at that, meaty. Look at the wheels on that, crazy. Very, very good. Handy sketchbook reference to be had just there. But I think I'm going to go for something that's a little bit more regular. So I'm going to draw it with the curvature pen tool. Holding down Shift, hitting the back tick key on an English keyboard. In fact, if I was in Illustrator, that'd be working even more better. So I'm going to double click to create a straight line. I'm going to hold down Shift, double click to create another straight line. Then I am going to come up a bit like so. I'm going to let it draw its curve. And I'll double click on that point there, double click there, and double click there. Now, do you know what? I'm going to change that to a corner point. I'm not going to try and make elaborate. And it might just be because it's like late o'clock, dark o'clock. No, I definitely want to change that to a corner point. So I'm just going to target it, say make it a big curvy point, now make it a corner point. That's how you fix it. You switch it off and then on again. You just push the other corner. Like, epic. Epic. Change the direction of that. So let's pretend that's the sort of tyre pattern I want. Again, let's go ahead and create a brush for that pattern brush. Boof. Look at that. See, that's going to work. Tyre. And I can always change this later on. You've just seen how I've done that before. So I'm going to go for this outside one just there. Whoa. Ooh, doesn't quite join. This is a job for alignment. Let's align all of those to the bottom. And this is where that handy skill comes in of holding down the Option key and dropping it on top, okay, of that and applying it to the strokes. Oh, you know the other thing, it's done me again. Whereas those rounded end caps are really useful for joining lines together, when you're trying to do this sort of thing, that's when they can bite you because you can't set a negative overlap. I think it's a bit of a short-sighted thing personally, right? But you can't. Now that's working. So that looks okay like that, but I think I'd rather have more of them. So what I might do if I make this smaller, but I kind of like the chunkiness of it. So I'm just going to grab those 2 points and bring them up, maybe like that. Yeah, that's going to work, I think. The other thing I could do, of course, is just go ahead and just literally scale it. Or free transform it. I could do that. That would work. Bring that in. But I'm going to lose the dynamic of the height to whatever ratio. So I'm going to hold down Option, drop that on top. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Let's see what auto-generated corners would look like for that. Auto overlap. No. None. I quite fancy changing the overall size as well. That's working pretty well. Yeah. And now I'm going, that's it, replaced with my original thing there. There you go. That's right. There's nothing to stop me from changing the size of that now. And that should be big because it's big. It's as simple as that. It's big. Right. So that's good. These lines at the back, I need to knock those out from that particular shape because they need to be see-through. And while there are ways of getting around that, the easiest way, I'm going to Command 9 this, by the way, to outline it. Well, do you think that's a bit, actually, do you think that's a bit too steep? I'm kind of looking at that and thinking there's no way would that work like that. It's too big. I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to replace it again. Sorry, but, well, not sorry at all, actually. I'm going to change that again. I think I'm going to go with that. Yeah. And because it's bigger, there we are. I think that's not bad. Now, would that tire be on the wrong way? No, it wouldn't. Thinking about that, it's just fine. Good, and it would give grip if it was in reverse. So Command 9 to expand the appearance. Remember, that's my own self-assigned shortcut there. Okay, to do that, I'm just going to ungroup it and then join it together. That's it. Done it twice just to make sure it was joined. Because that's the thing, when it ungroups it, you get the individual line segments. There. Less of a buzzsaw. I agree. I agree. So right, I'm going to get the other paths that I want to trim, just there, which is now just one path. And I'm going to make a couple of quick incisions. One here, one here. And then I'll use that extend path business from Astute Graphics to just go ahead and make those the way they are. Yeah, I think that works pretty well for a tire arrangement. I'm going to group that. So you might be thinking, well, could have added a fill and hidden the lines behind it, but that's not going to work for this because it just needs to be the lines. It has to be just the lines, no fills at all. Because when it gets to go into the actual blueprint, which will happen, what I do is with that global color, right, is I go ahead and change the global color. So when it goes into the blueprint, let's just see if I can get to the blueprint template from here. It's no. Oh, is that it? No, it's a different. Well, do you know what? This is a different one, but I'm going to open it anyway. I'm going to go back to this one, which I don't think I've saved in ages. It's really bad. And that's because so there's a thing called auto savior from Astute Graphics, right, that allows me to work and it will just save for me automatically. Quite often use that when I'm doing things like this, so I can just carry on drawing and it takes away the need for saving. Of course, Illustrator has its own native mechanism for crash recovery, but does it always work? Sometimes, yeah. Oh, Tim, I haven't combed my mustache really, mate, for a little while. There we go. All good, fluffy. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, anyway, saving. So let's go back to this grid here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to drop this in. Actually, where was this? Oh, because I moved everything around. So it's in scans. Let's take that back up to the top. Just rearrange it a little bit. So I'm going to go into this document. Okay, and then I'm going to place that file. So documents, scans, entirely the wrong place for it. But anyway, there we go. I'll get to the bottom of that mystery later on. So let's just say it was going in like this. You can see now why there are no fills involved in this, right? I'm going to pop back to the MPV. I'm going to make one simple change. I'm going to go to the swatches. Okay, I'm going to double click on the swatch that I've made as part of my default color. Right, I'm just going to push all three of these up. So effectively that's white. You can perhaps see that drawing, ooh, these aren't using my default. There we go. Drawing with white, somewhat different. I'm just going to select all of the same stroke color, just there, and change the stroke color to that. That's weird. I must have just, don't know what. Oh, some of those now have got a fill. Let's undo that. Bring that to the front. That would help. And do that. There we go. You can see drawing with white, challenging, to say the least. If I now save that in the place document, right, I can go ahead and I might be using, okay, I might be using the actual work document here, and let's go to links. Oh, it's out of date. Let's update it. There you go, like so. See how that works? Yeah, so then I end up with these bits. Oh, it's only on my cosplay. So good. But that's why no fills. No fills in there, please. No touching the girls. Thank you very much. Right. So I'm just going to, I don't need to select anything here. I just go back, right, and I change the default color back to something like this. Something near black, but with a bit of blue in it. There we are. Nice. Buff. And everything using that updates. Hopefully that makes good sense for you. Just having a look at some stuff. I think I'm going to have to go in a minute and go do the sleeps. I'll go for a bit more, unless you can convince me otherwise, unless you specifically want me to hang out a bit more. I'll tell you what, I'd need a lot of chat interaction for that one. Like a lot. Lots. There we go. Super good. Right, so I've got my two ropes just there, solving that particular problem. I need to change the relationship between those handles and that rope as well. That's going to need to be modified. Now, these bits here, these bits in this section. What I think I'm going to do there is I'm just going to copy that line segment and paste it in front. And then move it over a little bit, just after that one angle, just there. Okay, because everything else in there will get drawn slightly separately. Straight line. Oh, straight line. Just there. Another straight line. Just there. Lots of straight lines now, just for this part. This is forming part of the chassis. And go ahead and just draw these bits here. Going to try the astute doohickey again with my stylus. I'm going to go for the astute trim and join tool. Ooh, nice. Just a little. Klaus, if you're watching, it's a little bit like a super version of my, and presumably your, electric eraser. Mate, you're going to have to come over soon as well, because I'm going up to the Derwent Pencil Museum soon to make a sequel for my pencil movie. You need your beauty sleep. That's why I often wake up late. It still doesn't help. You're right. I'll just go on for another like 9 minutes or so. I think that would be fun. There we are. And just now I want a circle that goes right between those two things there, and I've got just the tool to do that. Just here. Boom. There you go. Done. Nice, because there's meant to be a relationship between what you see there as part of a shape and this thing here. So then from there, I will draw to the center of that one, the center of that one. Then I want to shorten these lines so I don't have to calculate all that stuff up to that point. Up to that point, there are going to be some additional lines in here. Now I've lost complete control over my line weights just there, you know, complete control. These should be a fraction of that because they are internal structure. There we go. That's much better. Good. Down a shade. And perhaps I think maybe rotated. $15 degrees. Let's make a copy. Doesn't like that these days when you don't do it with the selection tool. Gets weird. There we are. Yeah, that will kind of work, I think. We need some more detail in there as well. So maybe another structure line just around about there. Like that. That's pretty good. In fact, I think it needs two, because there would be a ridge there. And also, just to be clear, here. Now that needs to move across there a little bit, and then across there. Here we are. Not 100% sure about that. Things may change in that area. And we'll be in touch. Yeah, if you like, you can join us again in a couple of weeks. Fantastic. Tim, I love working with you, man. I mean, you have modified my life in so many ways. So many ways. I really do love working with you. You're a great guy. Oh, these are meant to be extending steps, actually. I might just plot those out a little bit. Or collapse it. I'm not sure the right. Unfolding steps. Steps that do unfolding. That's what these are meant to be. I'd like to indicate those. Again, it's not critical. No one is going to model these for me. Yeah, this is just... Tony, what would a vehicle look like, that might be used on Mars? Well, it might look like this. With lasers. I'm going to blend these together. So I've created a blend just there. Why hasn't the quick actions area? Oh, it has now. Blend options. I was just thinking, why hasn't it got that? I'm sure it didn't have that long ago. Right. There we go. In fact, I'm going to go for 6. Would that work? That would give me 8 in total. No, it needs to be an odd number, so I'm going to go for 7. Reason. Okay, I'm going to expand that blend like so. Okay, then I am going to go into those things just there. I'm going to select the ones in between those and change their weight like so. 1.3. Yeah, that works. And then I'm going to grab all of those bits. Well, in fact, it's a group. So, and I'm going to bring that up to about there. There you go. It gives you an idea that there's some steps there. 2 minutes, and then we're done. I'm just going to draw a little rectangle there, like so. I'm going to select the bottom 2 points. I'm going to get the scale tool and push those in, like that. It's been at least half an hour since I last did any squirculars. So I'm going to change this to squircular and just drop in those and apply that to the selection. Just there, these are docking bits. There you go. There'd go pretty much just there. Do you know what? If it was important that they were equidistant in relation to this shape here, that's where I would go for my reflect tool and have a way. See, it's not showing me a center there because it's a group. So this would be one of the occasions where I go ahead and draw a sacrificial line segment, get the two together, make that the target object, align to center. Then I pick up that one, hit the reflection tool, go for the anchor point, reflect, hold down the Alt or Option key, hit return, and there you go. Then I'd have them so they were exactly equidistant from the sides. But that's how far we've got on that. Be a little bit more progressed with more stuff next time. But for now, we're done. I hope you enjoyed it. It's going to be abrupt cut off right now. Have a great weekend. Let me know in the comments if you want more stuff. Oh, it's Lucas. Can you tell me what add-ons and plugins you use? Looks helpful. They are from Astute Graphics, Lucas. astutegraphics.com. Find that. I'll pop it in the chat myself in just a second, just before I go nights. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Tim, for joining in the chat, and it's Vegas HD for joining in the chat. And Anthony, fabulous. See you next time. Take care. Bye. I'll give you a bit more warning next time.